Hello. Don't forget to like and subscribe before starting the video. Who is William McKinley? William McKinley was the 25th President of the United States, serving from 1897 until his assassination in 1901. He was a Republican and the last president of the 19th century. McKinley was born on January 29, 1843, in Niles, Ohio, and grew up in a middle-class family. He attended Allegheny College but left before graduating to enlist in the Union Army during the Civil War. After the war, he studied law and began his political career as a prosecuting attorney. He was elected to Congress in 1876 and served in the House of Representatives for 14 years, becoming a leader in the Republican Party. In 1896, he was nominated as the Republican presidential candidate and won the election against Democrat William Jennings Bryan. During his presidency, McKinley focused on economic issues and international affairs, leading the United States through the Spanish-American War and expanding the country's influence overseas. Unfortunately, McKinley's presidency was cut short by his assassination in 1901. Despite this tragic end, McKinley left a lasting impact on American history and politics. William McKinley was born into a modest family in Niles, Ohio. His father was a successful ironworker and his mother was a homemaker. McKinley was the seventh of 9 children, and he grew up in a household that valued education and hard work. Despite his family's financial struggles, McKinley was able to attend Allegheny College in Pennsylvania, where he excelled academically and became involved in student government. However, McKinley's college education was cut short when he left to enlist in the Union Army during the Civil War. He served as a private in the 23rd Ohio Infantry and rose through the ranks to become a captain. McKinley was known for his bravery on the battlefield and was twice wounded in combat. After the war, he returned to Ohio and studied law. McKinley's political career began in 1869 when he was elected as the prosecuting attorney of Stark County, Ohio. He quickly gained a reputation as a skilled and fair lawyer, and he was known for his willingness to take on difficult cases. In 1876, McKinley was elected to Congress as a Republican, representing Ohio's 17th congressional district. He was re-elected 8 times and served in the House of Representatives for 14 years. As a congressman, McKinley was known for his support of protective tariffs and his advocacy for veterans' rights. He was a key player in the passage of the McKinley Tariff Act of 1890, which raised tariffs on imported goods to protect American businesses. In addition, he was a vocal supporter of the gold standard, which he believed would stabilize the economy. One of McKinley's major achievements as a politician prior to becoming president was his work on behalf of veterans. As a Civil War veteran himself, McKinley was passionate about ensuring that soldiers who had served their country were treated with respect and dignity. He worked to secure pensions for veterans and their families, and he was instrumental in the creation of the National Home for Disabled Volunteer Soldiers. Overall, McKinley's early life and political career helped shape his views and priorities as president. He was a strong advocate for American industry and believed in protecting American jobs through tariffs. He also had a deep respect for the sacrifices made by veterans, and he worked tirelessly to improve their lives. The 1896 presidential election was a pivotal moment in American history, with William McKinley as the Republican nominee and William Jennings Bryan as the Democratic nominee. The election was characterized by debates over economic policy, with McKinley advocating for a pro-business, gold-backed currency while Bryan advocated for silver coinage to increase the money supply. McKinley's campaign was well organized and well funded, with the support of wealthy industrialists like Mark Hanna. He emphasized the importance of a strong economy and promised to protect American workers by maintaining high tariffs on imported goods. He also supported the gold standard, arguing that it was essential for economic stability. In contrast, Bryan's campaign focused on the plight of farmers and the need for economic populism. He argued that the gold standard was a burden on debtors and that silver coinage would stimulate the economy. Despite Bryan's passionate campaigning and his famous Cross of Gold speech, McKinley emerged victorious in the election. He won a majority of the popular vote and carried most of the states in the Electoral College. McKinley's victory was seen as a mandate for his economic policies, and he quickly moved to implement them once he took office. Overall, the 1896 presidential campaign and election was a turning point in American history, setting the stage for the rise of industrial capitalism and the emergence of the United States as a global power. McKinley's victory marked a shift towards pro-business policies and a commitment to the gold standard, which would shape American economic policy for decades to come. William McKinley's presidency was marked by several significant events, both domestic and foreign. One of the most notable was the Spanish-American War, which broke out in 1898. The United States became involved in the conflict after the sinking of the USS Maine in Havana Harbor, and McKinley quickly mobilized American forces to defeat the Spanish Army in Cuba and the Philippines. The war marked the emergence of the United States as a global power and helped to establish its presence in the Pacific. Another significant event during McKinley's presidency was the annexation of Hawaii in 1898. This followed a long period of American influence in the Hawaiian Islands, and McKinley saw it as a way to extend American territory and expand trade in the Pacific. The annexation was controversial at the time, as many Hawaiians opposed it, but it paved the way for Hawaii to become a U.S. state in 1959. On the domestic front, McKinley's presidency was characterized by a commitment to pro-business policies and a belief in the gold standard. In 1900, he signed the Gold Standard Act, which established the gold standard as the official monetary policy of the United States. He also supported high tariffs on imported goods, signing the Dingley Tariff in 1897, which raised tariffs on many items, including steel, sugar, and wool. McKinley believed that these policies would protect American industry and promote economic growth. However, McKinley's presidency was also marked by social and economic issues that affected many Americans. The country was in the midst of an industrial boom, but this led to growing economic inequality and labor unrest. Strikes and protests were common, and McKinley was forced to address these issues with a mix of conciliation and force. He also faced challenges related to immigration, as many new immigrants were arriving in the United States and facing discrimination and poverty. Despite these challenges, McKinley's presidency was generally viewed as successful. He presided over a period of economic growth and expansion, and his leadership during the Spanish-American War helped to cement the United States' place as a major world power. His commitment to pro-business policies and the gold standard also helped to shape American economic policy for decades to come. However, his presidency was also a reminder of the complex social and economic issues that faced the nation during a time of rapid change and transformation. William McKinley's presidency was cut short by tragedy when he was assassinated on September 6, 1901. McKinley was attending the Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, New York, when he was shot twice by anarchist Leon Czolgosz. McKinley initially appeared to be recovering from his injuries, but he eventually died on September 14 due to complications from gangrene. The assassination of McKinley shocked the nation and led to a period of mourning and reflection. McKinley was widely respected for his leadership during the Spanish-American War and his commitment to American values and prosperity. His death was seen as a tragic loss for the country, and it sparked renewed discussions about the role of violence and radicalism in American society. McKinley's legacy continues to be felt today, both in terms of his policies and his impact on American history. His presidency marked a period of significant economic growth and expansion, and his pro-business policies helped to establish the United States as a major industrial power. He was also committed to the gold standard and high tariffs, which shaped American economic policy for decades to come. At the same time, McKinley's presidency was marked by complex social and economic issues, including labor unrest, immigration, and inequality. His response to these issues was sometimes controversial, and his legacy remains a subject of debate among historians and political analysts. Despite these complexities, McKinley is remembered as a respected leader and statesman who helped to shape the course of American history. His legacy continues to be felt in many areas, including the economy, foreign policy, and social issues, and his presidency remains a significant chapter in the ongoing story of the United States. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it informative, Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future.